Have you ever browsed through Zillow or StreetEasy, whether as a legitimate home buyer or even just scrolling through for fun, and maybe you came across an apartment in Manhattan that just seemed way underpriced? For example, this is the Excelsior, 303 East 57th Street. As you can see, this looks like a high-end luxury building. And don't get me wrong, it certainly is. Insanely gorgeous apartments throughout the 45-story tower. But look at these prices: a one-bedroom under $400K, a 2-bed, 2-bath under $500K, a 3,300 square foot 4-bed, 4-bath under $2 million. What the heck is going on here? Don't worry, there is a catch, but let's start from the beginning. 303 East 57th is a co-op here in the city known as a land lease building. So what exactly is a land lease? It's a unique situation where the building sits on the land that belongs to a landowner, not the building. So in simpler terms, the developer or owner of that said land lease building does not own the land it sits on. Since the landowner believes that the property location will always have an increasing value, they lease it to the developer, usually ranging from 50 to 100 years. However, at some point in time when the lease ultimately ends, the building ownership will revert back to the landowner. There are roughly 100 land lease buildings throughout the city, most of which are in Manhattan, with a high majority of them at Lincoln Square and Battery Park City. So it seems the apartment pricing is too good to be true, right? But as I mentioned, there is a catch: those monthly prices. The monthly maintenance payments are expensive, no way around it. And why is this? Each apartment owner at a land lease building pays the land rent that's wrapped into their monthly fees. So that one bed under $400K, $2,384. Typically, you find a co-op under $400,000, you'll probably be paying less than $1,000 in monthly fees. That 2-bed, $3,883. That 4-bed, over $11,000 a month. And remember, since land lease co-ops don't own the land, they may not pay property taxes. This is just the maintenance. Some may think that the maintenance charge for the 1-bed or 2-bed aren't that outrageous, but they are higher than the average. So you have to wonder, if you are paying a premium on monthlies, is it worth the super low asking price? Well, let's discuss. Why do people prefer to buy into a land lease over a regular development? Let's start with this. It's affordable to buy larger units in more luxury developments. Maybe developments with high-end amenities that you will not find elsewhere. For example, in the Upper East Side, you won't find a $350,000 unit that has a high-end gym or a 24-hour doorman or concierge service. It's just not possible. But in a land lease building, it is. Then, there are always ways to make money off the savings. Typically, number-savvy buyers love this move. Most of the time, the extra money would go into that down payment or the multi-million-dollar asking price. But when buying into a land lease, you could put that money elsewhere, where maybe the returns are stronger, such as the stock market. For them, paying a few $1,000s more per month in maintenance is relatively a small price to pay for the potentially millions more you can be saving. One final benefit, you always need to consider the tax benefits. Depending on the terms of the land lease, property taxes for the land lease apartments may be lower compared to the condos or traditional co-ops because the land lease co-op does not own the land. In general, a well-structured land lease building can be an excellent investment, but every set of factors and circumstances should be examined on a case-by-case basis before. The purchaser should be clear on the financing, duration, and the structure of the land lease before purchasing or not purchasing a land lease apartment in New York City. Here are some factors to look into. Lease terms and renewal. Land leases always have expiration dates, and the terms for lease renewals can vary widely. When the lease expires, the landowner may have the right to renegotiate the terms or potentially even take possession of the land. This uncertainty can lead to financial instability and impact the property's resale value. And then, of course, there's also the resale value. Speaking of resale value, land lease properties can be less attractive to potential buyers when it comes time to sell, especially if the lease is nearing expiration. This could potentially limit your ability to sell the property or require you to sell it at a lower price. If you scroll through the unit history on StreetEasy, you will see that either units have been on the market for a while and have minimal, if any, returns. And of course, there's financing challenges. Obtaining financing for land lease properties might be more challenging, and interest rates could be higher compared to traditional co-ops or condos. And the reason for this, the lack of certainty we discussed about the future of the land lease. Like I mentioned, everything can change in an instant once that lease is up. So here's almost everything you need to know if you are even considering buying into a land lease. I would recommend, before making a decision, that you thoroughly research and understand the terms of the land lease agreement, consult with legal and financial professionals, and carefully weigh the pros and cons based on your individual circumstances and long-term goals. Thanks so much. It was great speaking to you all. Follow and subscribe for more real estate information here in New York City.